to Aliens Space Education. Thank you for subscribing. I really hope you're enjoying the subscription and all these fantastic episodes. I hope the longer versions are just as insightful and really enjoyable to you, and I hope you enjoy them. Please keep sharing it with all your friends. So we're looking at today about some of the moons in our solar system. Now I've got a list of 30 moons here. We're going to go through them very basically, but it just gives you a taste of what these moons are. Now, if you have any questions, please email them in. I'll happily do a detailed episode about each of the planets, as much information as I can find, and I'll happily present it. So we begin with the first moon in our solar system, which of course belongs to Earth's moon, also known as Luna. Okay, it's commonly known as Luna or the moon, depending on where you are in the world and who you're talking to. It is the only full-time natural satellite that Earth has. You may see in the news that sometimes it says, we temporarily have another moon for a couple of months, things like that. The moon isn't going anywhere. It's stuck with us. It's stayed with us. It's not going anywhere. And it's a really, really cool place. We've only sent a few people there. I wonder how many of you can, in the comments below, tell me how many people have been to the moon. I will like every answer that's correct. I look forward to seeing them. If they're wrong, I will tell you. So please give it some consideration. Now, the surface of the moon is featured with craters, mountains, a sea of solidified lava known as Maria. It has a gravitational influence that affects the tides and stabilizes the Earth's axial tilt. So the moon is crucial to life on Earth. Without the moon, we're buggered. We'll be in a very big pile of doo-doo. We need the moon. It's important. It influences the tides. Without the tides, the water levels will rise and would all be flooded because it would be stable. They wouldn't be going in and out like they do now. It would stabilize, and some of the areas of land where you could be today would be flooded. So the moon is crucial. Plus, it keeps us on a tilt, which means that we keep getting 4 seasons. If we change, life on Earth would be very, very different and very, very difficult. So the moon is crucial to life on Earth. It's super important. So if someone tells you that we're going to look at the moon, look at it, enjoy it, celebrate it. The moon is beautiful. Without it, we don't exist. Okay. Next, moving on. The next planet. Remember, Mercury and Venus have no planets, so that's why we started on Earth. The next one is Mars. Mars has 2 moons, Phobos and Deimos. So we'll start with the first one. Phobos is a larger and closer moon of Mars. It has an irregular shape, heavily cratered with grooves and ridges on its surface, and its rapid orbit rises and sets on Mars twice a day. So you know how on Earth we see the moon go past once a day, once a night. You see it pass, and it comes back around, it goes again. It takes 24 hours to go around it. Phobos does it in half that time, so you see it twice a day. That's really, really cool and super fast. So if you blink, you might miss it. It's going so fast. Okay. Deimos, on the other hand, has a surface covered in fine dust, less cratered, also has a rapid orbit. It does spin twice as fast and makes it set. So you'll see 4 moons in one day. They both spin super fast. Now, it's thought that Phobos and Deimos were once asteroids caught in Mars' atmosphere, and in the next few thousand years, both these moons, or particularly Phobos, the bigger, will break apart and create an asteroid belt or a ring around Mars. So Mars could one day have rings. Before, those rings would only be temporary before they get sucked down onto Mars' surface. So it's really, really interesting, these moons. And they're spinning, and they're also seeing the moon 4 times a day, 2 different ones. Cool, that'd be cool. Imagine being on Mars and looking up and saying, there's a moon, there's another moon, there's a moon, there's another moon. Wow, that'd be so cool. So moving on. Next is Jupiter. Now we're only going to cover now. Jupiter and Saturn have a lot of moons. Between them, they have over 200 moons. I'm only covering a bite-sized chunk of these, the main ones, because I'm only doing 30 moons on this list. I am not doing 280 moons. I'm sorry, I don't have the patience. You wouldn't listen that long, so I'm keeping it short and sweet. Okay, so please bear with me. So we start off with Io is the most geological active body in the solar system. It is covered in sulfur and other volcanic material, with hundreds of active volcanoes that continuously reshape the surface. Think about on Earth, when a volcano goes off, it can change the shape that volcano looks, but it spews that lava, that ash out, and it can change the shape. It demolishes areas, it makes it bigger, it makes it smaller, it looks like a river running down, it's constantly changing. Now imagine hundreds of volcanoes doing that every single day. Wow, that's highly dangerous, highly changing. You wouldn't know where to stand, whether that lava's just flowed, or whether it's a week old. When a volcano going off behind you, or one to the left, one to the right, constantly things always changing. So Io is amazing, but highly dangerous. However, there are other moons around Jupiter. Now, this moon is completely different. It has an icy surface and a subsurface ocean beneath it. It means it has a layer of ice, and underneath there's water. This is called Europa. It is a prime candidate, and we are going to investigate. We're sending the NASA Clipper mission to go there and have a look in that water to see if there's extraterrestrial life. That's what it says. Even NASA thinks there might be life underneath the ice on Europa. We're going to find out. There could be aliens in our solar system. Wow! And in your lifetime, cool, this is cool. You've got to keep your eyes open for this one. Next moon is the largest moon in the solar system. It's even bigger than Mercury. It has its own magnetic field and a surface features of ice and rock. This can only be Ganymede. Wow, that's a cool moon. Maybe that can host life one day as well. Who knows? On the other hand, another moon, Callisto, is heavily cratered, features an ancient and stable surface, which means it hasn't shifted. It doesn't have volcanoes, no earthquakes. It may also have a subsurface ocean, making it another intriguing object for future study. So if Clipper find life, we're going to Callisto next. We're going to see if they have it as well. Maybe there's something there that we don't know. We do know by studying Earth, by studying the Antarctic and Arctic, that underneath those layers of ice, they drill through. They never thought they'd find anything in there underneath there because it's under thick ice, no light, no nothing. They found life. Over 60 new species of animals have been discovered under the surface of ice where there's no light. That means both Europa and Callisto host the potential of life. I'm not saying what type. I'm not saying they'll go and find it. I have no idea. But they host the potential for aliens to exist. Next moon. I apologise if I said that wrong. Amalthea. The relatively small moon with a reddish surface. It orbits closer to Jupiter than the larger Ganymede moons, and has a somewhat irregular shape. So not all moons, even around giant planets, moons are different shapes. Moons are not set in stone to be round balls in the sky. They change, and they're all changing. Another small moon is called Thebe, Thebe. It's rough, heavily cratered surface, and is located just beyond Alzheimer's Jupiter in a moon. So it's just a little bit close, just a little bit on the outside. But there's another moon. Next is Himalaya, Himalaya. It's It's one of the largest irregular moons in Jupiter's orbit. Has a reddish colour again and orbits Jupiter at a considerable distance from the planet. So it's not like Altair and Thebe. Himalaya is even further away. So it's completely different. And it's completely different. Next, Elara. Elara is another irregular moon of Jupiter. Smaller than Himalaya, its surface is covered with crater, and it orbits at a great distance from Jupiter than some of the inner moons. So these moons are constantly changing. They're in different orbits. Has so many of them it can't keep track. They're all irregular shapes. Now some of these moons could be captured asteroids, or they could be created from its dark rings, because Jupiter does have rings as well, but they're dark rocks. So these could be from there as well. So who knows? We're running out of this. Okay. Philisa. P-A-S-I-P-H-A-E. It's an irregular moon with a retrograde orbit to Jupiter. It's one of the more distant moons. It's thought to be captured by Jupiter's gravity. So a retrograde orbit is going the wrong way. That's weird. I thought only Neptune had one of them. Jupiter does too. Interesting. Okay, that's it for Jupiter. That's only a small bite-sized chunk of the moons that are around. We've gone so far. So moving on to Saturn. Now Saturn has rings, so it could be creating new moons, it could be creating new stuff, and it's always changing. So Saturn, and remember Saturn is the queen of the solar system and has more moons than any other. So we've got a long list here. Obviously, it has Saturn's largest moon, the second largest moon in the solar system, which can only be Titan. The atmosphere of liquid methane, offering a unique environment for exploration. We know creatures here on Earth can survive in methane. How, we don't know, but a lake on Titan could host more life. So by studying things here on Earth, we can surmise and prophesize, or not prophesize, to theorize what is out there. And there is possibilities. Now this one's really interesting. I love this one. This is the second largest moon of Saturn. It's amazing. It's heavily cratered surface, and it is believed its own faint ring system. A ringed moon around a ringed planet. Now that is weird. And this moon is called Rhea. R-H-E-A. Now that's incredible. Just like its big planet it's orbiting, this moon has potential for rings. Why? We don't know. But it's something we're looking at to try and understand. Now it's really, really cool. Okay. I love Rhea. If you didn't notice. Okay. Enceladus is known for its geysers that erupt from its south pole, suggesting the presence of a subsurface ocean. The moon's surface is covered in ice and is highly reflective. So because it's reflective, it means light and heat from the sun is getting to it. These geysers are clearly from some sort of pressure underneath the surface that send them out. And there is, obviously, geysers mean there is the potential for life. Minus, recognized by its large crater. Herschel, which makes it look like the Death Star, has a large crater called Herschel. How you named that one? But it's a moon that looks like the Death Star. Has Star Wars comets. Are Ewoks there? That is cool. Its smallest size, its surface is filled with impact craters. So no Ewoks. It's heavily bombarded. It's heavily got craters in it. It'd be dangerous for Ewoks to be there. But it does make it a bit more fun to think like that. Okay. Leptus, L-A-P-E-T-U-S, is a unique two-toned coloration. One side is very dark, the other side is very bright. Also features a prominent equatorial ridge that makes it look like a walnut. A walnut moon that's dark and light. That's really strange and really weird. But that's what makes space so cool. You never know what you're going to find or what you're going to learn about. This is incredible. Yeah, a walnut-shaped moon. I wonder if the surface is just cratered and textured on both sides, or is one side smooth and the other side all textured? Be interesting. Let's have a look at it. Dione. Dione has a surface marked by both heavily cratered regions and relatively smooth areas, indicating a history of geological activity. Dione has earthquakes. Dione has other things going on to make the surface smooth out from the craters. Wonder what will create that. It's definitely worth looking into. Send me your questions and see if you can tell me why that happens. Phase, Thethys. It's moon surface marked by large impact craters, including enormous Odyssey craters. Also features large and bright ice ring-like structures. Wow, that's cool. For Jupiter to do that, it shows how strong she is. Wow. Right, that's it for Saturn. Wow, Saturn's strong. Saturn got that from the Kuiper Belt. Wow. Whatever next. Okay. Next, we're going on some of the more intriguing moons. Now, these moons belong to Uranus. And we have 1, 2, 3. We have 5 to go through. Five of Uranus's moons to go through. So, to start with, we go through from its largest moon. It has a surface of canyons and valleys. It has icy crust. Underlying rock suggests a complex geological history. This can only be Tatiana. Yep, that's the name, Tatiana. So it tells us that other rocks out there, that is cool. It's dangerous, but it's cool. So Miranda definitely should be on this list. Next one, don't get your hopes up. It's not the Little Mermaid, but it is Ariel. This moon is both cratered and smooth plains. It appears to experience a highly active geological activity in the past. It's not active now. So it was very, very rough. It was very dangerous. It did have lots of earthquakes. It did have lots of volcanoes. Did a lot of other things happen. But now suddenly, boom, it's gone quiet. What's going on? Why is it suddenly stopped? We don't know. I'd love to be able to give you the answers to these, but I can't. But that's the fact, is it was and now it's not. What changed? Important questions we're looking at. Next is Umbriel. Umbriel is one of the darkest moons of Uranus. Its surface is heavily cratered and is relatively old and okay. Next we're going on to we're going to do 2 moons from the amazing Neptune, king of the seas. Okay, Neptune. The first one is a really, really interesting one. It has a retrograde orbit. Now, a retrograde orbit means it spins backwards. The planet is going clockwise, the moon's going anti-clockwise, or vice versa. That's retrograde. Why would a moon go in the opposite direction to the planet that is spinning around? That is super, super strange. Next one has an erratic orbit around Neptune. It's relatively large, irregular shape. Its surface is less understood but thought to be covered in ice. Now this can only be Nereid. 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 It has an erratic orbit. It has an icy surface. It's a very unusual shape. What's going on? This is highly strange and weird stuff. What is space doing to us? It's Charon. It's half the size of Pluto itself. Half the size, a moon half the size. Imagine they are sometimes considered a double dwarf planet system. Charon's surface features deep canyons and a polar ice cap of ice water. So there's water right in the Kuiper Belt. We confirmed it because we know it's on Pluto. We now know it's on Charon as well. That means if there's life there's water, there's a potential for life. Could there be life as far away as the Kuiper Belt? That would be so cool to find out. The next moon is a small, irregular shaped moon, has a highly elliptical orbit, is thought to be covered with ice and other materials. That can only be one, Nix. Nix is the unusual one, irregular, strange shape. Now, this moon was discovered alongside Nix, has a similar surface and a highly elliptical orbit, but is a little bit smaller. That can only be Hydra. How they came up with the name Hydra? No idea. It has nothing to do with Captain America, so I apologise. I'd like to thank you for joining me on this little journey through our solar system moons. It's been amazing fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope you keep listening and I hope you keep sharing. The next episode in a week's time will be an overview of the solar system, and that will end my first season of